everyone, Kate here to do a review on a new release, which is a rarity for me. But there are certain books that come along that I know I am going to love. I have to read them. And a few years back, you saw me do a review on Son of the Deep by K.B. Hoyle. It's one of my all-time favorite books now, and it is her retelling of The Little Mermaid. Now, there is this, I did not realize at the time, was the start of a series of fairy tale retellings in an interconnected universe. And I am so excited to talk about Son of Bitter Glass. This is a glorious retelling of the Snow Queen fairy tale. And actually, prior to reading this, I had not read the Snow Queen fairy tale. And once I started, I realized I hadn't. And then I thought, well, I don't want to read it while I'm in the middle of reading Son of Bitter Glass. So I saved a read of the Snow Queen fairy tale for after completing this book. This is set in the land of Ravinia, and it is all about Ira, and she is the kind of companion and best friend to Prince Isebrand. And he is the son of the king of Ravinia, and when he is young, when he is a child, the Snow Queen uses a sorcerer to come to a big event in the kingdom. And the sorcerer uses the Snow Queen's magic, and everyone in the land becomes cursed. Where if they have their eyes open and unprotected when they are outside, it can't happen inside, but when it's outside, then a shard of the bitter glass gets into their eye, and slowly it spreads and will freeze their heart eventually. And it also has this way of very much this, I really appreciated this aspect, kind of the very physical elements having effects on the soul and spirit of the characters. So it had this way of distorting the affections of the characters. The things that they love, they start to loathe, and the things that they originally loathed, they start to love more. So Ira, the best friend of Isebrand, the prince, she has a father who previously he loved her so much, and then he has remarried, and he married so she could grow up having a mother, having this stepmother, but he's not in love with her. Well, as he becomes cursed by the bitter glass, he starts to love this stepmother and to loathe his daughter. So you can see what a high cost that this curse has taken on the land, having this hatred kind of eating away at people on the inside. And that to me was a really powerful element to have in this story, to have these characters that are so very much affected deep within their soul by this curse. And also, it was a really a jarring kind of thing to happen. It would talk about when a character had the glass go into their eyes, they would just be rubbing at their eyes and rubbing and rubbing. I felt like rubbing my eyes just because of how KB Hoyle is so good at world building. I am so in awe. You know, in Son of the Deep, I started out reading and I thought, wow, this is a really tall order. How is she going to successfully have this undersea world? And she just did it so exquisitely. And so to have this world that feels very, very different and distinct. The land of Ravinia feels very different from Peros, where a lot of the story takes place in Son of the Deep, the parts that are on land. The land of Ravinia feels so distinct, and also it's such vivid imagery. And so a glass house is built for Prince Isebrand, and Ira is his companion, and she holds the key to the glass house. And then as the curse starts to increase as he gets older, he's told that when he's 18, he will die and the whole land will suffer. And it's this kind of ticking clock. And Ira is such a loyal and steadfast companion. The way that she is kind of a caregiver to Isebrand really made me think of Sam and Frodo from The Lord of the Rings. And I just was so moved by the very selfless way that she wants to take care of Isabran and is so giving of herself. I really enjoyed also, there is a character from Son of the Deep that you get to know that makes a fair amount of an appearance in this book. And so it was lovely getting to see the deeper layers of that character, getting to know him better, and to see how he was handling the fallout from events that happened in Son of the Deep where things didn't turn out necessarily the way that he wanted. And it was really interesting also to see kind of some fairy tale creatures in this, and ones that I wasn't necessarily expecting to see. There was also a cameo of one of my favorite props that is used in a fairy tale. And I don't want to give anything away, so I don't think I'll say what it is. But as soon as this sort of generic thing was mentioned, I wondered, oh, is this actually this element that is sometimes used in fairy tales? And I love it so much, and it was. And it just feels like such a love story to fairy tales. And it's a beautiful story of sacrifice and working really hard for the greater good, even when you don't know if it's going to work out in the end. It's always a story that I'm going to love. And any story also, any kind of romantic sort of story where someone is willing to go to the ends of the earth for the person that they love, I find to be so moving and such a beautiful encouragement to readers in their everyday lives to be willing to go to the ends of the earth to fight for the things that you believe in, to fight for truth, beauty, and goodness. And it's just, I feel so hopeful when I come out of reading a story like this that doesn't hesitate from showing the darkness and the hard things, because through much of this book, I thought, I really don't know if a happy ending can happen. I found myself, it was such a nail-biting experience for me because things just seemed so truly awful. And I come out with this glow after reading Son of Bitter Glass. So I really was so delighted to fall in love with this book so much. I didn't know if it could happen after loving Son of the Deep so much, but she did it, and she did it so beautifully. So yes, I loved Son of Bitter Glass, and I am delighted to be talking about it here on my channel. If I do a standalone review of a book, you know that I really loved that book. So I hope that you might check it out if you are the least bit interested in fairy tale retellings, but also if you just want a story of characters that are well developed and fully formed and going through hard things and trying to do the right thing in the midst of those hard things. I think Son of Bitter Glass would be well worth your time. I will say, I do think it's probably best to read Son of the Deep first, but then following it up with Son of Bitter Glass. So yeah, just delighted to be telling you about it. And I hope that you enjoyed this video, and I will be back with another video soon. Bye.